2 years ago, you was in the same city, undrafted, trying to get a job. Now you sitting here with a bag. How you feel?
Feels great. Like I said, everything comes full circle, and all I needed was an opportunity, and I knew that.
Who could have imagined that when Austin Reaves joined the NBA, people would be making entire videos just about him? Yet that's exactly what's happening now. His name keeps coming up, not just because of his incredible growth this season, but also because of how perfectly he's meshed with Luka Doncic. And let's not forget the Lakers, who are having one of their most impressive runs in years. But there's more to this story. Austin Reaves is heading toward free agency in 2026, and he's got a $14 million player option that he's absolutely going to turn down. That choice could shake things up in a major way for both him and the Lakers. With only a few teams holding solid cap space and not many big-name free agents available, Reaves is set to become one of the most chased players on the market. Every team looking for that missing piece will have his name on their list. Still, before we jump ahead, let's talk about what's been happening this season. Everyone already knew Reaves could ball. He wasn't a superstar, but he was that perfect third option. A steady scorer, smooth passer, and reliable piece who could run the second unit without stealing too much spotlight from the stars. He could pull up for jumpers, draw contact, make slick passes, and hit tough shots when needed.
I knew what I was capable of doing, the skill set, IQ, stuff like that. So it was really just about, my agency put me in a good position to, have all of that. We could have got drafted 42nd to Detroit, but kind of declined that to kind of put me in LA for a better spot.
But this year, he's showing something different, something bigger. His stats are up, but so is everyone's in today's high-scoring league. The difference is how he's improving. His jumper's smoother, his passing sharper, and he's handling the ball way more confidently. Oddly enough, those early games without LeBron James might have been a blessing in disguise for him. With LeBron out, Reaves got a chance to run the show more often, building real chemistry with Luka.
Tonight, and I know how much.
I currently have more dunks than him right now.
Is that true?
Yeah, but he don't stay for rebound. He just goes out, and he don't want to play defense.
It gave him clarity about his role. He wasn't just another rotation guy. He was the second shot creator behind Luka. That kind of trust changes everything for a player. He started to play with more confidence, more aggression, and more swagger. Before this, Reaves sometimes seemed caught in between roles. When LeBron would return from injury or play cautiously, Reaves looked unsure whether to keep attacking or just wait for open looks. Some games, he'd be leading the offense while LeBron stood on the wing waiting for threes. It just looked off rhythm. But this season, it's different. Reaves walks onto the floor like he knows exactly where he belongs. He's more assertive, more comfortable, and clearly more respected by his teammates. Missing those early games with LeBron out might have been what unlocked this new version of Austin Reaves, a player who's no longer just filling space, but defining his own. What makes things even more fascinating for Austin Reaves this season isn't just that he's gotten better, it's how perfectly his game fits next to Luka Doncic. The chemistry between the two is undeniable. We've seen this exact type of player, this specific mold, thrive alongside Luka his whole career. Go all the way back to Luka's early days with the Dallas Mavericks and you'll remember Jalen Brunson. At the time, people knew Brunson was good. But when he left for New York, that's when everyone realized just how talented he really was. Even during his Dallas run, Brunson had stretches that looked eerily similar to what Reaves is doing now. Sure, if you compare their per-game stats from their Dallas days, Reaves might even edge Brunson out a bit. But the comparison isn't just about numbers, it's about style. Both are undersized guards with insane skill levels, able to score in multiple ways, create for others, and switch seamlessly between being on-ball and off-ball threats. And that blueprint didn't stop with Brunson. Fast forward, and it evolved into Kyrie Irving, who became Luka's ultimate running mate in Dallas. When those two clicked, the Mavericks looked unstoppable, especially during their finals run. Kyrie had mastered that second star role. One moment he'd explode for 10 straight points, and the next he'd slow things down, move the ball, and let Luka cook. That's exactly the kind of balance Reaves brings too, and it's what makes this whole situation so intriguing for the Lakers and their future plans. See, it's not just about Austin Reaves as an individual. It's about the type of player he represents. Luka thrives when he's paired with a guard who can shoot, handle, and keep the floor spaced. When Luka's isolating or running pick and rolls, defenders can't afford to sag off. That's where Reaves shines. He gives Luka room to operate while still being ready to strike the moment the defense shifts. Austin Reaves isn't just fitting in beside Luka, he's proving that this archetype of versatile, confident combo guard is exactly what every team with a superstar ball handler needs. When you've got a player like Luka Doncic, you need teammates who can capitalize on every little advantage he creates. If Luka breaks down a defense, you have to be able to swing the ball to someone who can instantly attack a closeout and keep the play alive. Austin Reaves does exactly that. If the ball swings to the weak side because defenses are overloading Luka's lane, you want a player who can read the floor, attack the gap, and make the right decision in a 4-on-3 situation. Reaves handles that with ease. And when Luka needs a breather, either while still on the court or sitting on the bench, Reaves can smoothly take control of the second unit. That's the kind of versatility Jalen Brunson and Kyrie Irving brought to Luka's teams before. And that's why keeping Reaves has become such a major priority for the Lakers. It's no accident that the front office has resisted every trade rumor involving Reaves. They clearly saw his value before most people did. The Lakers knew he was more than just a role player. They knew he could eventually become one of the core pieces of a championship-level offense. And now, that vision's coming to life. Even with LeBron James still there, JJ Redick coaching, Rui Hachimura contributing, and a handful of solid role players around, the real foundation in Los Angeles has shifted. It's crystal clear. The future of the Lakers revolves around Luka and Austin Reaves. That duo alone can give you a top 5 offense in the NBA. Their combination of creation, spacing, and control is lethal when surrounded by competent shooters and defenders. So as the Lakers look ahead, the front office's main focus has to be one thing: keeping those two together. But here's where things get complicated. Like we mentioned earlier, 2026 is shaping up to be a strange offseason for Reaves. It's not his first time heading into free agency with the Lakers, but it's the first time he'll have complete freedom to choose his own path. The last time around, contract rules limited how much he could make. Even though there were teams like San Antonio that could have made him a huge offer, nobody really pulled the trigger. The market simply didn't value him as highly as it should have. That's why his current deal feels way too small compared to what he's actually worth on the court. That's not going to happen again. This time, everything's different. The Lakers are going to have to pay up, big time. Not only because Reaves has earned it, but also because the rest of the league now recognizes what he brings. Teams are already lining up, ready to throw serious money at him. A guard who can create next to a superstar, space the floor, and lead the offense when needed? That's a rare find. For the Lakers, this offseason is going to be a test of how much they truly value Reaves. Do they commit and build long-term around him and Luka, or risk losing a player who's become one of the most reliable two-way guards in the league? One thing's for sure: Austin Reaves isn't flying under the radar anymore. His next contract is going to reflect just how much his game has grown and how essential he's become to the future of Los Angeles basketball. It's not far-fetched to think that once the offseason hits, Austin Reaves could be staring at an offer that's dangerously close to a max contract. Maybe not the full max, but definitely something in that neighborhood. And there will be multiple teams ready to throw serious money his way. This isn't the kind of situation anyone predicted a few years ago for the Lakers, because back then, Reaves was seen as that tradable edge piece, valuable but not untouchable. Now, he's become a cornerstone of the franchise, and his timing to cash in couldn't be better. Reaves' rise has completely flipped the script for Los Angeles. Just 2 seasons ago, he was that underrated glue guy. Now he's the player they can't afford to lose. You can bet the Lakers front office will go all out to keep him in purple and gold. They've seen how quickly things can fall apart when you let your co-star walk away. Just look at what happened in Dallas when Jalen Brunson left. He went to New York and immediately became a star, leaving Luka to shoulder everything again. The Lakers don't want to repeat that mistake. If they lock Reaves into a major contract, it'll completely reshape their salary structure. Right now, most of their financial flexibility comes from his team-friendly deal. They've been able to build a deep roster around Luka because Reaves' contract barely made a dent. But once his new number kicks in, things are going to look a lot different. With Luka as their main superstar, players like Rui Hachimura, DeAndre Ayton, and others filling solid roles, the Lakers have had a strong balance. Partly because Reaves' low cap hit made it possible. Add LeBron James to that mix, whose year-to-year plans are always uncertain, and you've got a roster that's been able to move money around as needed. But once Reaves signs that next deal, you start treating him like what he's become: a foundational piece, both on the court and on the books. It's wild to think that a few seasons ago, nobody saw this coming. Austin Reaves went from being a secondary piece to a must-keep franchise guard. And now the Lakers' entire financial and competitive future could hinge on what they decide to do with him this summer. First, yes, the pairing of Luka Doncic and Austin Reaves makes perfect sense offensively. Their chemistry, playmaking, and scoring rhythm can shred almost any defense in the regular season. But once the playoffs hit and the game slows down, the concern becomes real. Can you actually build a high-level defense around those two? Neither is known as a lockdown defender. and opponents will go out of their way to hunt mismatches. Trying to hide both at the same time could be a serious challenge in a 7-game series. The second issue goes beyond basketball. It's financial. If defense becomes a liability and you've got over $100 million tied up in Luka and Reaves alone, how much flexibility will the Lakers have left? Finding that third star or even just maintaining depth becomes a lot tougher when two players are eating up that much of the salary cap. It's one of those tricky NBA balancing acts. Keep your core or keep your options. Because make no mistake, Reaves is the real deal. You could easily argue he's already a top 30 or top 35 player in the league. He's efficient, he's composed, and his fit next to Luka has been nearly perfect. Together, they guarantee a top 5 offense as long as there's enough shooting and hustle around them. But the entire equation changes once his price tag jumps from a friendly $14 million to a superstar level $40 to $50 million per year. That shift turns him from a luxury piece into a franchise-level investment, and that's a different conversation altogether. The bigger question now becomes perception. Are we ready to start treating Reaves like an all-star caliber player? Because that's the level he's creeping into. If his play keeps trending upward, he's going to be mentioned in the same breath as some of the best guards in the Western Conference. It's wild to think about, but that's where he's headed if he keeps performing like this. Of course, there are still hesitations around the league. Some teams might hesitate to offer him a monster deal because of his defensive limitations. It's not that Reaves doesn't try, he absolutely does, but he's got certain physical restrictions that can be tough to overcome at the highest level. Even so, front offices remember how they slept on him last time. When he first hit free agency, teams like San Antonio had the chance to snag him and passed. They undervalued his upside once, and that mistake won't happen again. Now, Reaves has completely flipped the narrative. The Lakers' season is thriving. Luka's thriving, and Reaves has turned himself into a centerpiece. What was once seen as a nice bonus has become essential. He's no longer the scrappy underdog playing on a cheap deal. He's a core building block whose next contract could redefine the team's future. The coming offseason is going to be fascinating. Everyone's watching to see what number he lands at, how much the Lakers are willing to pay to keep him, and how far other teams might go to pry him away. If his performance stays on this level, that number is going to be massive. Whatever happens next, one thing's for sure. Reaves has forced the entire league to start taking him seriously. And just like that, Reaves went from underrated role player to one of the Lakers' most valuable stars. Now the whole league's watching to see if LA can lock him down, or if another team steps in with a massive offer. His next contract could change everything for the Lakers and maybe even shake up the Western Conference. What happens? Reaves has earned his spotlight. He's not a surprise anymore. He's a star on the rise, and this offseason, it's about to get very interesting. So what do you think? Should the Lakers go all in to keep Reaves, or would it be smarter to let him test free agency and see what the market says? Has he truly earned that near-max deal, or is this hype moving too fast? I really want to hear what you think. Drop your thoughts down in the comments. I'm genuinely thankful for every opinion you share. Thanks so much for watching and supporting Ball Stories. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive. There's a ton more drama and stories waiting for you right here on the channel. Catch you in the next one. Peace.